this is going to be my top 5 most disappointing simulator games. Now the thing is, there are games that come out that are just rubbish. They are just hopelessly rubbish. You see me play quite a lot of them on this channel. I'm not including those kind of games. I'm only including games which I thought, when I heard about them, had a lot of potential, but for whatever reason, when they came out, they just didn't fulfill that, or they disappointed me in some way. Like I said in the last video, this is just my opinion. Your opinion might be completely different. So if you have a different worst 5 or top 5 worst sim games of your own, please leave a comment in the comment section below. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Okay, so for me, OMSI 2 was a pretty big disappointment, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. I played OMSI 1 a fair bit. I did quite a lot of the scenarios and the routes and the modded routes. I added in modded vehicles and all of that. But in my opinion, OMSI 2 just didn't bring much more to the table. It just didn't feel like that much of an upgrade from OMSI 1. I know that the team working on this game is very small. It's basically just a couple of guys, but I kind of expected more. Also, the game was very buggy on release, and they keep adding DLCs. The DLCs are not exactly cheap, and it's just the graphical style, in my opinion, is just stuck in the past, and I feel like they need to, you know, for it to be worth a second new game, they should have really done something to improve. This is just my opinion. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear about it. Okay, so another game that for me that was quite disappointing was Construction Simulator 2015. I thought that they did try to increase the scope of this game over previous games. They did try to make it more open, you know, with more variety. So I did appreciate that, but personally for me, the number one thing that they got wrong with the controls, I couldn't seem to be able to get the controls so that I could easily control the more complex vehicles, and that's something that you're going to be spending a lot of time with, you know, using various cranes, and these cranes have got extensions and all kinds of different things you need to move around, and for me the controls were just very hard to get to grips with, and it made the game frustrating. And for me personally, that is why I didn't spend as much time in this game as I thought that I was going to. Maybe you found it easier, maybe you really like this game. I would love to hear about that in the comment section. Okay, so for those of you that have watched my channel a lot, you will know a while back, quite a while back, I made videos on this game, Enforcer Police Action. Now, this game was a failure. This game had a lot of potential. When it was first released, the developers went to great lengths to tell us they're working very hard on the game. They're going to add all this different stuff. I mean, as you can see from this video, the game, when it was released, was pretty janky. It had a lot of potential, but it had a long way to go. Someone would have had to have put a lot of effort into it. They did try, but I think after a while they realised, or the publishers realised, that it was kind of like flogging a dead horse. So yeah, this game for me was a big failure. But it does leave the door open. You know, I'm really hoping that someone at some time can make a really well made police simulator game with a big enough budget. I mean, I appreciate these kind of games usually don't have a lot of budget, but hopefully it would have a big enough one so that it can actually, you know, be a half decent game. Let's cross our fingers and hope for that one. But unfortunately, this particular game was a failure. Okay, so this is another game that if you've watched my channel over the years, you would have realised this one was coming. This game started really promising under European Ship Simulator. I believe the video you are watching shows an example of some of the early content from European Ship Simulator, and it actually at first did impress me. You know, it seemed like that they were going for highly detailed modelling, if I can talk properly. But it seemed like that the project just got lost, and the development was very slow. The development team was then fired or let go by the publisher. The publisher then asked another group to take over the development. Actually, it was the same studio that was working on the last game, Enforcer, and you know, pretty much in the same vein as Enforcer, they did then make lots of claims, shall we say, that they were going to work on this game, that they were going to improve it, they were going to add so much stuff. It lasted for about a year, and then it basically died. There were no more updates, and then we heard that the studio, Odin Studio, was closed down. So yeah, a failure. European Ship Simulator, and then it turned into World Ship Simulator. They tried some things. They tried to have open world areas and various things, but in my opinion it was just a failure. And again, like the last game, if someone can really get their act together, this is a really good genre that someone would be able to make a really fun, interesting game. But so far, yeah, this example was a failure. Let's hope at some point in the future someone is able to come up with a game that is a bit better. Okay, so I would say that this is a rather controversial selection on my part, and I think I might get a lot of hate in the comment section about this. Now, I know there's a lot of people that love this game. The actual idea of the game is great, yeah, I do agree. But the thing that for me makes this game a failure is that this is the top selling farm simulator game. They have made a lot from this, a lot of money, and they've kind of turned into the Call of Duty of farm sims, in that they bring out a new version every year. Now, the version that you can see on your screen now is Farm Sim 15. Now, Farm Sim 17, you know, that's a 2-year gap. You won't really notice a massive difference, in my opinion. Again, this is just my opinion. You know, I feel like with the money they've earned from this, they could have done way more to increase the graphical fidelity and to add more features, and to really make more than just an incremental update. This is my opinion. You know, I stopped buying farm sim games because I just saw every year they just seemed almost the same, you know. But the good thing about this is I believe that it leaves the door open for someone else. If there's someone else out there that can actually, you know, really push the boundaries and make a farm sim game that really, you know, increases what we've seen in terms of the graphics and the features and the realism, you know, I kind of believe that this game has kind of gotten a bit stuck relying on the modding community too much. That's kind of my guess. I would say that they see that there's so much stuff, so many mods that are made. I think that kind of makes them a bit lazy. I don't know, I might be wrong, but I feel like they should be making much more strides, much more effort to really push the boundary of farm simulator games. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. I'm sure that a lot of you won't agree with my choices, So if you have a different top 5 most disappointing sim games, then I would love to hear about that in the comment section below. So again, thank you for watching and see you in the next one.